Good afternoon. Today we are checking out the Chicken Police, an adventure game by the Wild Gentlemen. Let's start. Dead men are heavier than broken hearts.
I ran out to get a pack of cigarettes, but I left my wallet at home. Yeah, that's me. I'm getting old. My name is Sonny
Featherland.
An investigator for 20 years, and once the star of the predatory division of the Clawville Police Department. One half of the legendary Chicken Police.
It looks like an old school movie.
But buying a pack of smokes is more than I can handle right now. Maybe I should just lay low. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
The most colorful place in the wilderness. For all the gods, what bullshit. The last clucking color left this city years ago. And slowly I'll turn gray too.
Clawville, the most colorful place in the wilderness.
Still, what do I expect? We're living in a vast experiment, and don't even notice that everything got clucked up a long time ago. We believe in this wonderland of peaceful coexistence. Wolves and sheep. Chickens and hounds. Yeah, sure. Why not? It's just ridiculous. The dog eats the chicken. It's in our nature. I'm not propping up the illusion anymore. 121 days, and it's over. Retirement.
121 days.
What could possibly go wrong?
That must be footage, right? I like the blending of styles. Cool. Ooh.
Ah, crap. My office lock is a piece of shit if a dame can pick it. She stood in the darkness. The light painted stripes on her body. It whispered secret little things that were never there in the first place. But she was no zebra. Reality was just a light switch away. Elizabeth or Charlotte? I was sure she'd have a sophisticated-sounding name. She had a bygone look in her eyes, older than this ancient building, and perhaps the whole city itself. Or maybe I'm just drunk. But she was the first womanly thing in my place for a long time, so I had to give her a chance.
Fancy, fancy. Look.
Who is this dame, anyway? And what the cluck is she doing in my apartment on New Year's Eve?
Speak.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Deborah. Miss Deborah Ibanez.
I think if they would have used regular human faces, maybe this game wouldn't stick out so much from the crowd. You know what I mean?
You're mistaken, ma'am.
Oh, really? Please enlighten me, Mr. Featherland.
I'm not a private eye. I'd recommend Mr. Philmar Lowe instead of me. He's a nice guy.
Believe me, Mr. Featherland, it's not an accident I came to you.
Look, miss, I work for the police, and I'm currently on leave. I couldn't accept private commissions even if I wanted to. Not even from a classy dame like you.
Am I that easy to read?
That's my job. But tell me, since you've invited yourself in, would you like a drink?
I don't usually drink.
Well, I've got to have one. And it'd be rude of me to drink alone. So, maybe some sherry?
If you insist. But bourbon, please.
Ah, thank the wild ones. That's all I have.
What a coincidence.
So come on, spill it from the beginning.
Okay,
Books
Old
I'm never gonna read. Maybe nobody ever has.
It's kind of cool that this indie game is fully voice acted. I appreciate that.
She doesn't seem so dangerous that I need to grab my gun, but you never know. My last cigarette. You're lucky I don't have a light, pal. My wallet and my badge. The wallet is real. The badge ain't. Chief Bloodboil took mine, so I got this one out of a pack of cornflakes, just in case.
Okay, cool. Alright, so that's the drawer, pile of papers.
I don't even know what these papers are.
Typewriter.
I promised myself I'd write a novel one day. I don't even know where the key is. Whatever's inside is gonna stay there forever. I wanted to travel the world when I was a kid, but I think I'm gonna end up dead in here whether I like it or not. The Wild Gentlemen. Those guys rebuilt the city after the Great Fire of 867. My heroes when I was a little chick. I'm starting to think they should have left Clawville as it was, burned to the ground.
Celebrity cops from the dump.
We used to be star cops a few years ago. Tabloid press, radio interviews, and even a book series. I don't miss those days. Of course, Marty, my old partner, would disagree. He just loved the spotlight. M.B. Davis, the eternal king of jazz. The photo is from the days of jazz prohibition. I only heard the old man live one time, but this is one of the most beautiful.
Okay, what the heck? Molly. Nice.
The good things in life don't last long. The best ones always leave first. I saw that in the window of a shoe store. I never understood it, or what it had to do with shoes.
Light switch? Ooh. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Turn it off. Alright, let's talk.
That's
Let's talk.
better.
It's a very strange matter. First, there were letters. Then it came printed on a wine bottle's label, sent as a gift. Then carved into a brick, thrown through the window. And finally, they painted it on the wall of the house in giant red letters.
I think it's time to dig a little deeper. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask you some routine questions.
Please, that's why I'm here.
Questioning. Question. Focus on what you know about the suspect. Is he or she suspicious? Concentrate on that. John Doe. This fellow is rather suspicious. I need to concentrate. Okay. Am I suspicious? He is suspicious. Why are you suspicious? Gather impressions from the subject. Every impression adds a new question line. Detective meter is your best friend. It shows how well the questioning is going. Keep it positive. 100%.
I must be cautious and smart. This dame seems shy, which I can use to my advantage. But I must be careful about what I say to her, or I can scare her off. Let's start gently, and when the time comes, we can go in hard.
Who exactly are you, ma'am?
Who exactly are you, ma'am?
I'm not somebody important, Mr. Featherland.
You're important enough to deal with such a delicate matter, right?
I carry out the wishes of my employer, nothing more. This means simple paperwork, most of the time.
You've been thrown into deep water, sweetheart. Tell me, can you even swim?
Believe me, this is just as unpleasant for me as it is for you, if not even more.
Okay, let's see. Tell me which part of the city do you live in?
Tell me, which part of the city do you live in? Calavera Hills? Flowerville, maybe?
Look, I don't want to answer that. I'm here on behalf of my employer, and not on personal business.
Fair point, Deborah. Let's try a different approach.
Well, let's see. Let's just keep
Why
going.
did you have to visit me this particular evening?
I have my
Broad
reasons.
question.
I may look like a silly little fawn, and maybe I am, but I still have common sense.
I don't doubt that for a second, Miss Ibanez.
This day is essential to my mistress, and she thought it's also important to you.
A message in itself, for sure. But to be honest, even you are.
You know what? I'll just take that as a compliment, even if it wasn't meant as such.
Okay, plus 10. Let's see. Do you even know what you want? Gentle, huh? Were you born and raised in Clawville? Yeah, let's just go
Were you born
easy.
and raised in Clawville?
Why do you ask?
I couldn't think of anything better.
Well, I'm not from around here. I'm from Grassmore. Maybe you could hear I have a slight accent. Do you know where it is?
Where what is?
Grassmore, of course. You just asked.
Oh, that. Don't worry about it. I'm not interested.
Do you like to play with other animals?
Oh, for the wild ones. Am I that transparent?
I'm afraid so.
Well, I'm a little rusty, it seems. Let's change the subject, shall we?
Negative 20. Yike.
Why did you come to visit me? Why not your employer herself?
My employer is Miss Natasha Katsenko. She hasn't been leaving her home lately, only if she really has to.
How so?
Miss Natasha is afraid. She's scared because of those unwanted messages, and everyone knows who she is.
So she's that kind of woman.
I don't know what you mean.
Of course you do, Deborah. Thank you, by the way. We're finally getting somewhere. We avoided the point long enough. Deborah's hiding something, no question. Let's focus on that.
Let's see. Are you toying with me? What exactly do you expect? Okay, what do you want from me? How did you get this address? I'm
sure it's not intentional, but, are you toying with me?
I'm not sure I understand you, Mr. Featherland.
Cut the crap, Deborah. You're a pretty smart girl, and you can't hide that no matter how hard you try. But ever since we've been talking, I couldn't force one single straight answer out of you. I'm starting to think I'm terrible at what I do.
I'm sorry, Mr. Featherland, you're right. I'll try to be more straightforward next time.
I appreciate that, ma'am.
What the heck? Are you in some sort of jam?
Are you in some sort of jam?
Nothing of the sort. There are simply things better left unsaid.
Then you're wasting my time.
I trust your instincts. You'll manage it.
Yeah, and I have no other choice, right?
To be honest, no, Mr. Featherland. Not really.
Okay. Have you ever felt truly vulnerable? Don't you think this whole thing is a little suspicious? Let's dig in.
Have you ever felt truly vulnerable?
Honestly, very often, Mr. Featherland.
Great. Because that's exactly how I feel right now, Deborah.
Yeah,
I'm
bruh.
sorry if it's too unpleasant for you, but we had no one else to turn to.
You know, I get that a lot, and it never ends well.
Do you like happy endings?
Not in books or movies, but in real life it would be nice for a change. But this is Clawville. Not many happy endings around here.
I knew you were romantic at heart.
If what's between me and my whiskey could be called romance, then yes, maybe, a little. Tell me, Deborah, why should I believe you at all?
Because my mistress trusts you.
Should that be enough?
If you really like what she thinks you are, then yes.
Damn, what can I say to that?
Look, I didn't mean to back you up against the wall.
You have a way with words, sweetheart. Did you ever want to be a cop?
No, not for the world.
Heh, smart answer. Be honest and tell me what you're so afraid of.
You know, Mr. Featherland, my mistress's partner is Hobart Wessler. Or as most people know him...
Ibn Wessler, the Kingpin.
Exactly.
Feathery gods, help me.
So you get it now. The secrecy.
To put it mildly, I think I understand it all. Wessler. This little piece of the puzzle changes everything.
Questioning rank, probably like 2 stars. Decent cop. Focus accuracy. Okay. Natasha's current significant other is the infamous gangster Ibn Wessler. Alright. Ooh.
Why don't you take it?
Please.
Well, okay.
New item. What did I get? Current employer. Significant other. Okay. Okay. Natasha. Species, cat. Okay. What did she give me? I know
Molly very well. Please note this when deciding whether or not to accept my assignment. Miss Ibanez is a trusted friend. Treat her as gentleman. N. I know
Can I flip it over?
I felt like I'd been hit on the back of my head with a blackjack. Reality tilted. Molly. Good gods. What was her name doing there? I glanced at the opposite wall, with the well-worn picture frames. Like an eternally dark hole in the wall. A missing piece. She was wearing a light silk dress and singing a lullaby. The waves caressing her beautiful long legs. Why Molly? Why now?
Mr. Featherland?
Yes.
Santino, are you all right?
What the hell is this supposed to mean?
I don't know anything, Mr. Santino. My mistress told me to give this to you. She said you'd understand. Don't you?
Oh, of course I understand, Miss Ibanez. I get it very well. But this case is becoming more and more confusing. It's starting to look like blackmail.
Blackmail?
Don't play innocent with me.
But...
All right. When can I visit?
Visit? Me?
Not you. Miss Katsenko.
Oh, yes. You can find her at the Tsar Club.
Didn't you tell me she's not the social kind? That she's especially unsociable? Or does she only like loud and crowded clubs?
No, she's really not like that. But she owns the place.
Judging by the flyer, it must be a very busy club, especially on New Year's Eve, right?
I'm sure you'll have no trouble finding Miss Katsenko, but there's one small problem, Mr. Featherland.
Let me guess. Mr. Wessler better not know about my visit.
Exactly. How did you know?
20 years experience, ma'am. Oh, and please, call me Sonny.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Mr. I mean, Sonny.
I'll talk about the rest with Ms. Katsenko in person. A good friend of mine would be happy to take you home if you'd like.
I'd appreciate that, Sonny.
I really like the 3D models when they're kind of talking to each other. So
I don't see colors anymore. Only emptiness. Everything faded. I need another drink.
I wonder if the game is completely in black and white. Well, what's in the cabinet?
Just a bunch of useless...
Are we done, Deborah?
Thank you again.
Don't mention it.
I'm sorry.
Thought so.
Okay.
Behind that...
Now what? Natasha must know my wife Molly from somewhere, or perhaps she has very good informants. I must find out what the connection is. Okay, so I can't use this map little icon yet. Now what? People, places. One of the most famous nightclubs in the city, owners of the juiciest booties and hardest fists frequent the place, and it's famous for not serving cop, except if they are knee-deep in the dirt. Interesting. Cool. 555-932. Can I just type it in? No.
Hey, Lewis. Am I bothering you?
No. Of course not, Sonny. Old friend, what's up?
Could you come over? I've got a favor to ask if you're not busy.
For you, anything. Just a minute.
Lewis arrived a few minutes later. He lived in the rooms above, so it wasn't difficult getting here. Not to mention that he's a rabbit. It was a quick hop. The Atlas Hotel was his inheritance. It was once a well-renowned place, but not anymore. The last economic crisis ruined it. And now, besides me, he was the only resident of this enormous place.
Lewis, what's up?
The good old rabbit. I can always count on him, even on New Year's Eve. Thanks for being so quick, Lewis. Can you drive Miss Ibanez home? I have some things to take care of.
Of course, Sonny. You know, anything for you.
Thank you for being so considerate, Sonny. I appreciate it.
Don't mention it.
Goodbye, then.
So long, Deborah. Before I visit the club, I have to take a detour. I've got a feeling that this case isn't going to be a one-man job. And there's only one bird in this city I can trust. My ex-partner, Marty. He's going to be at the station. I can only hope he'll be willing to talk to me.
Marty. Okay, let's go. Scene types, main scenes. Main scenes move the story forward. These scenes also determine which locations open up or close down. You need to complete all of these if you want to beat the game. Limited scenes are open for a specific duration, which is determined by the main story progression. If you are a completionist, be sure to visit all of them before you move on to the next scene. Closed scenes cannot be reached for the time being. The state will often change throughout the story progression and can be temporary or permanent. Top tip, pick the main scene if you're absolutely sure you don't want to visit any of the available limited scenes anymore. Got it. Sounds good. Okay. To the precinct.
It was New Year's Eve.
Gentleman
and I was
production.
driving, half drunk, risking my whole life's work. But still, it didn't feel any different. Every day was the same. And the 121 days I had left till my retirement seemed like an eternity. When I look
Oh,
out the window
look
of
at
the
that
hotel
splash
room
of
I
color.
call home, I see the same thing every day. A woman in a red nightgown dances slowly in circles to smooth music. The 9 o'clock show, with a glass of cheap bourbon and the red gown with the silent music. In the meantime, the proud city of Clawville is slowly eating itself alive. And we're still here, with nothing left to lose but our sanity, while others, the smart ones, had already gone. Molly. Does her name really upset me this much? All those years of solitude, and I still jump without question every time I hear it. And then there's Marty, my ex-partner, who hates me. But I know I have to speak with him, no matter what. Why do I feel like the past is watching me on this goddamn night? I knew where to find Marty. At the station, we'd always draw straws about holiday duty. Marty never joined in. He always took the New Year's Eve shift, even though he had someone to go home to. I understood. 10 years ago, we survived the night the press called the Bloody New Year. Forgotten by Clawville, but not by us. We both left parts of ourselves behind that night.
Okay, so
Back
squad
in the
car.
day, I used to patrol the city's streets in one of these. I don't miss it, but it used to have its advantages.
Phyllis, what's up?
Phyllis and Roy's. Two hedgehogs with an arrogance typical of novice cops. They're as prickly as they look. Officious little shitheads, but harmless.
Well, look at that. Hey, Sonny, what you scratching at over here? I heard the big boss threw you out.
Tough luck, boys. I may not be on duty, but I'm still a cop, just like you. Well, more than you.
Hey, you don't have to be so peckish, old bud. By the way, you're on luck. Blood Boil's not in tonight. Malloy is in charge.
Oh, God. That clumsy buffalo is here tonight. If he doesn't end up in a cell again, he's lucky.
You got it.
You looking for Marty, eh?
I see you're still the brains around here, Phyllis. Yeah, I'm looking for Marty. Birds of a feather flock together.
I see you're still the funny guy around here. You'll find the giant feather duster at the shooting range. As always.
Hey, Royce. I'm telling you this because maybe you'll be able to understand. If this prickly shithead makes another racist remark, I'll strangle him with his own raincoat.
I'd love to see that.
Hey, whose side are you on, you jerk?
Okay. It's bullet holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
This happened when that old bloodhound, Blood Boil, was promoted to chief of police.
For the crown, for the king.
Every time this poster disappears, good old Blood Boil puts it right back, immediately. I tore it down at least 3 times already. Actually, it's a kind of passive-aggressive game for us with the chief.
Let's go inside.
Here we are again, Clawville Police Department. I've never been good at history, but if I'm not mistaken, this place has been a church, a hospital, and even some insane cult's secret hideout over the years. Anyway, the place holds the secrets of the ages, and some drunk pigs in the basement.
Monica.
Monica Rosen. Receptionist in theory, but in reality, she's doing literally everything around here. Like the beating heart of the PD. She's too good for this place, even for this city.
Vending machine.
Marty drinks this shit. I've never tried it, but I'm pretty sure it's gross. Mort Mardigan,